Yo, what is the deal? This is here, the T Money Podcast joint, and this is T Money that you're looking at right now, and I am very excited because we have a new sponsor. Brooklyn Blue is a pre-mixed rum, man, and it's off the hook. It's a dope beverage, man. It's right here, and I think I'm going to put this in my pocket because this is what we do. We're going to drink. We're going to have a good time today. But, yeah, so check it out, man. It's a coconut and pineapple-infused rum. Salute to the people over at Brooklyn Blue for sponsoring our show, and we, it's a natural flavor, and guys need to go check it out, man. They're at Brooklyn Blue Cafe, man. Check them out on Instagram, and yeah, we're gonna have this partnership. We're gonna do big things this year, so stay tuned. So, enough to do. We're gonna talk to my girl Stax. Stax, what's up, man? You drank some Brooklyn Blue? You good with that?
I have. I like it a lot. It was very smooth.
It was smooth.
Smooth and delicious.
It was delicioso.
Delicious. I like it. I liking the Brooklyn Blue. It did something to my palate. I said I like it. But you have to know if you like it.
That's right.
When you take a sip, but I like it.
You have to know if you like it. If you don't like it, no good. If you don't like it, no good.
I take a sip throughout the show, and that's what happened.
Too much sip, you can have too much sip.
No, me to the middle, and then for the next time. That's it. But I'm not gonna. If I drink it the whole thing, then I'll be asleep.
Okay. Oh, no problem.
Am I going to be asleep?
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Listen to me. So, listen, we do have a guest on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a repeat guest, and she's so fabulous. It's so marvelous.
She is fabulous.
She's incredible. Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing again a good friend of the show.
The Grammy nominated.
That's right, Grammy
first
nominated.
ballot consideration, but I'll take it.
Amanda Holley in the building. Hi, Amanda.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
And how are you? And how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm good, especially because I'm here. Thank you. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, well, we're gonna always do our thing with you here, man, because you're in a phenomenal talent, man, and you haven't been here in a while, right?
It's been a minute,
and I think when you were here earlier,
and
we needed a part two.
What?
We needed a part two of the show. So talk to us first. I want to also say salute to Ralph Cooper. Ralph Cooper.
Yes.
Ralph
Big
Cooper too.
Ralph Cooper
right?
Management
is in the building. Her
legend.
manager, the son of the great legendary Ralph Cooper, Apollo Theater, Harlem, USA. Do I need to say anything else?
Discover Ice-T.
Listen
Put
to
him
me.
on.
Go ahead with all the accolades.
Movies,
right.
TV.
So he's been up.
The Apollo himself,
and that's
continuing
my guy.
his dad's legacy.
Oh yeah, no question.
And rescuing me. So
he rescued you
from this crazy industry.
Oh, you know what? No, he's doing this thing. But listen,
we're gonna get into the rescue.
Shout out to Ralph, and listen, man, we're gonna be doing great things. So you stay tuned for what me and Ralph have to offer. We're putting things on the table, right? So we're gonna do our thing. Peace, two fingers. But back to you. So talk to us, man. I mean, a lot of things were going on with you, in the last few months. Some of the stuff we won't get into, you know what I mean? But other things we'll talk about. I'm really interested to know musically where you're going, right?
Yeah.
And what's been happening. Just elaborate on the new music and the new producers and the Grammy nominations and.
Consideration.
Listen to me. This is
consideration nomination. Your name is in the building.
Yeah.
So thank you though for having me here. I love y'all, and it's beautiful to be here. It has definitely been a really transformative time this past season for me, just with getting ready with the new records that's about to drop. Mm-hmm. Coming off of a couple of years of just going really hard and building that foundation for what I believe that I'm meant to be and share in the world. Mm-hmm. And I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be able to do that and to even be here with y'all and be a vessel for music and love and passion and all that stuff. So
that's very
just a little, and I guess I had a kind of a lot going on just coming out of the strike that affected like my manager and myself on a lot of our projects in film and TV, and even production for the videos and the records and the community that I love so much. Just so many of my friends are phenomenal creatives, and it hit really hard because you got this whole, I feel like we're in this space where the world is calling for a higher way, and just like our elevation through art, and as that happens, it feels like it's just becoming crazier. Like, you see the differences more and more with the corporate greed versus the artistry, you know, and that actually just kind of forced me to go back into my soul and kind of deal with my own inner demons, just with stuff that I've dealt with since I was even born on this planet.
You had talked about that when you were here earlier. And right now, the truth be told, man, I mean, the music business has changed so much. It's been like a global change through how people purchase music, through how music is sold, how it's promoted, how you know. And I'm a baby boomer personally. You know, that's my era, right? So you're a Gen Z person. So your whole energy as it relates to how you promote your music and do your thing is different.
Totally different.
And you've been doing a phenomenal job. And truth be told, your success is changing the world. You know?
I appreciate that.
So if you have to...
I'm actually really shy and really not like a social media type of person. But the thing that motivates me and gets me really excited is having that personal connection with the listener or that little girl or that kid at home that is looking to myself and my peers or like us for that inspiration, and to know that they can make it in their life no matter where they come from. Because a lot of people...
This is what I was going to ask you. Like, how do you feel? How are you feeling as it relates to who you're touching? You know,
that's my number one motivation.
But who you know, with your music, right? You know, and who you're, you know, how it affects young women in particular. You know, because I mean, you've had your struggles, and you can relate. So how does that?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
I mean, I'll just put it out there. I'm an abuse survivor of every kind of abuse that you could think of. From before I was born, literally, I was beaten into the world. And through my whole childhood, and poverty and the whole thing, and racial abuse and the other stuff, if you know what I mean. Right. And then getting into the business, especially being a teenager, like not understanding, not having that foundation at home or nothing, or having $1 to, you know, even barely survive. Right. But to then be brought into this world through music, because that's what I've always survived on, and then discover that there's a lot of darkness in the industry. Right. And the things that I've escaped, some people have been put away for, some people have not. Right. But to be able to be there for girls like me, boys like me, you know, people who have gone through stuff and worse, or you know, that's my main motivation.
The reason why I enjoy having you on the show, you know, even when you were here the first time, is because you have an authentic voice. You know what I'm saying? Not because you're gifted, but what you speak about as it relates to the things that have happened to you, it gives authenticity to the fact that you can actually be successful regardless to your beginnings. You know
exactly.
And then when you speak about it, it's not like something that someone told you. You lived it.
This is I feel like my living testimony. Right. And my biggest prayer is to be able to have the platform to reach billions and be there for others the way that music always has been for me, because that's what I survived on, literally in every sense of the word. Right. So even in my records, even if it's a record and it's about love, like even to be able to find the ability to love oneself and be open to something that's true and good, or to walk from that toxic relationship or that toxic situation, or even just feel empowered enough to like step into one's own power and do what we are called to do when the whole world tells you that's impossible.
So speak a little bit to me, but hold on, I want to ask you a question about that. That's interesting you just said that. Speak to me a little about how you feel about love itself. Because someone coming from a torrid beginning, right?
Yeah, my heart is actually
torrid background.
I'm just being like totally 300% real, you know, like because I can do the stone face, but
this is why we're talking, right? We're vibing, right? But listen, so about how do you feel about that topic in general? Like, people in this generation don't even think that exists. They treat it like it doesn't exist. They turn their back on it. Because they're trying to avoid the pain that love causes. But you know, personally and mentally, I think that, you know, it's a catch-22 because love itself is so overwhelmingly satisfying. It's so overwhelmingly fulfilling. You know what I mean? And in life, you're always going to experience, pain
mm-hmm.
in some way, shape, or form.
It's
but
inevitable.
If two have not loved, is tragic. You understand?
Yeah.
And it's interesting how you put it. Because you express those things in a lot of your music as well.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. T, like, yes, it can be really challenging to open yourself up after being hurt so badly or seeing so much and going through trauma after trauma and trauma. And seeing all the evil that's around us and the darkness.
Right.
But, we're here as an expression of love, I feel.
Right.
And we're here to be and create. And we can't do that without love. I feel that love is the most powerful force in the universe. Right. And even when I feel like, hiding in a hole and kick, scream, and cry about stuff. And listen, like, I got a diverse background. My dad was African American. He's no longer here. African American with a little Cherokee in there. Freed slave family. My mom's Italian. Okay, so I will kick and scream.
Okay, no problem. That's right.
From every part of my ancestry over stuff, right? But ultimately, I always just take it back to what the creator wants for me to be. And at that point, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm glad I seen that now. Or I'm glad I survived that because only by the angels did I get out of that situation, And am I going to turn into the thing that hurt me? Like, hell no.
No, nobody wants to do that.
And that's the only choice that we got, I feel like. We could either become it or we could transcend it and then be there for somebody else.
Right.
I think that artists are tormented so that we can speak to certain experiences, so that we can be healers for those that are looking to us. So now you'll be given a platform, and your voice will speak to so many people through your videos, through the storyline of your videos, or, in the characters that you may play in your videos, or the songs that are written for you, or the place of pain that you sing from. It's going to be healing for somebody. It's going to be healing for somebody. I don't know everything that you've been through, and we're not going to.
We all have those records,
right? That you
that
look to.
That changed our lives, that we survived on.
Right, but you know what's interesting about that? It's like and so maybe it's not the same experience, but a place of pain that you sang from, how does it feel to you when somebody's like, oh, that's my favorite song? It's kind of bittersweet.
Yeah.
Right? Because of the place that you're singing from. Yeah. And it's like, damn, that this is your favorite song. That was like the worst part of my life, but this is your favorite song. Let me embrace that because I came from a place of creativity. Who do you want to speak to in your music the most? Like with the song that you have out right now, who are you talking to?
So actually, that's an interesting question. I appreciate so much. Actually, some of the most the deepest records are coming up at the end of this release cycle.
Okay.
And there are some, like, at the beginning of my journey that certain people had just, like, put up or whatever that are really telling my story. Like, I have one that's called Ugly. That is very, very, it cuts deep. And all my babies, like all my song babies are the one for me, and they all represent something really powerful and strong that I went through or transcended. But ultimately, I want to be there for someone else the way that music was for me. And it doesn't have to be just about surviving, although we have some of those things coming. And it doesn't have to be just about love, because that's all a big part of who I am. Like, that's the crazy thing is I had to really come to face it. Like, I know so many people are sensitive, empaths. Like, so many of your viewers are empathic, and it can be so tempting to be like, you know what? I don't want to care no more. I'm going to just shut it all down and just not feel.
Right, some people are like that.
Because it's easier that way.
Yeah, it's easier. It helps guard your heart. It protects your heart, but it puts the rope around your heart.
But then we limit ourselves. Like, we limit our own experience in that way.
Of course.
Because then we don't get to have all that. And I think like even the love songs, I feel like someone who's listening to even like seasoning, just opening up to all the flavors of love and being ready to jump back in again after being hurt. I think that that's a real testimony of strength,
right.
you know?
Right.
And it was records like that inspired me. You know?
So that was your
as
motivation.
As well as like the great, you know, hero and greatest love of all and all that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a song like Seasoning is proving that you weren't jaded by your experiences.
Even when I was, right? Like I was, like, that's right, sadly. I mean, I was jaded my whole life. But that doesn't stop. That doesn't stop us from making the decision to jump back in. But because
because you deserve that. Like, everybody deserves that. Even if you've been hurt, and we all have, and you come from a place of disbelief, like, oh my God, I poured so much into you. We spent time, we took pictures. I introduced you to people. For somebody to disappoint you, was like, oh.
I think Stas got a personal story.
No,
for this
but I do. But we talk about you. We
all do.
Oh, we talk about you. But no, for real.
Yeah.
In these situations, right? Like, we can look at social media and say to whatever couple, oh my God, couple goals, right? Unfortunately, when that couple comes to a crash and they are no longer, they feel like that. They're like, oh my God, they're embarrassed, they're hurt, and it's like, what do I do with that? Your song is gonna help them.
I would
Your
hope
song
so.
is gonna help them, and they're gonna be like, damn, I was there.
Some of these records are baby makers. Some of them, I got a record out that's Code. That is like each. I was so upset with something that had happened in the industry, and each line is dedicated to some idiot in the industry.
Oh, wow.
They each got a line.
Hold on. Let me make sure I'm on that list. That's at the list you want to be
on. Got a line. You know, because a lot of these mother
lovers,
they would think I would have given up, you know? It's like if I had to kick you out of that room, or if I couldn't escape a room and I had to go through that and recover from that.
Right.
And like, am I going to be like, no? Like, you know what? This is the easiest thing I've been through in my life. Like, boom, like I'll go in my little, you know, cubby hole for a minute and cry it out and then come right back. And that's what I want for all my girls. Like, and my, you know, it's not just the girls, but like in that particular case, like, you know, we have the power, you know, we are not subject to this pre-written matrix code.
Right.
That's only because we agree to that, you know? And yes, it sucks because there's going to be times when you have to say no to your dream. And I know that just as good as anybody. I've had to walk from millions to multi-millions, and some of the people I look up to ever since I was a little girl, but you know, is it worth the price of your soul?
No.
And I feel like what you were saying, T, about like where the industry is going, and with the public craving craving real music and art, and craving that authenticity and that connection, and supporting that. You know, I feel like we're in that moment where the world is ready for the artists to take back their power.
We definitely are.
You know?
Without question.
Especially with everything that's happening.
Oh, yeah.
So I would say, you know, listen, we can either get caught up in stuff for the next 4 years, or we can sit down and plan out what the next 4 years looks like for us, because it's very easy to get roped into, you know, TV and
it's the energy and the vibration that surrounds it.
And when I see it, I keep scrolling. I'm like, nope. You don't have. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Stop sending me these things. You know what you're sending me. Stop.
What things they're sending you?
Listen, all of the political stuff.
We gotta transmute. We gotta transmute it.
I feel like I can't. Like, I'm not seeing it on my own, and I love y'all. It does not mean don't send me DMs.
Listen to me,
but
guys. Listen, stop sending her stuff. Okay?
No. The political stuff, because it's so heavy.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Some of the, you know.
Yeah, it's a bit much. It can be.
So like, we need good music at this time. Yeah, because you know. Oh my
but
God.
let's get into that.
Music.
Let's get into that music. So talk to us a little about what's going on with you music wise. I know you're working on doing a video that you're putting me in. You already told me.
Come on.
And Rashi told me she already put me in the video. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'll play. Maybe the Garbage Man or something. I don't know.
I'll
be out there just chilling. I'm one of the workers. You know,
we're gonna be right here.
There you go. Anyway,
you see how I wrote myself in?
So talk to me.
Listen, you have to. You have to write yourself into situations.
Put me on like a pair of socks, man. That's all I want, man. That's one little corner or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's all good. So, but for real, like, how's everything going music-wise?
So I've been holding on to these little song babies for a minute, and we're about to start releasing a series of drops for like the next 18 months, just back to back of records and videos.
So where can everybody find those drops?
And everything will be on my socials, and it's obviously distributed everywhere through Sony, the Orchard.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just really excited, just because each of these records has such a story and a life to them, and from where they came from, and what I was able to personally go through in cutting them.
Right.
But I'm really excited for them to reach whoever soul it's meant to be there for.
Okay.
So there's going to be a drop coming soon called FOMO, and that's in collab with SOSX and Q the producer, and they got a lot going on with like Drake and like Breezy and stuff.
Okay, that's dope.
And then the Seasoning video, which my song Seasoning, that was on the Grammy ballot for the first ballot consideration for Best R&B Performance, Best R&B Song, and that was in collab with my friend Andre Fennell, GC from the Shaggy Camp.
Okay, salute.
And he's got a few Grammys. He's got a Grammy and a few nominations himself. And then another drop that's more of like a commentary, and we just keep on going all the way through to, I think I had mentioned this to you, I even got one that has live strings on it. And my producer who did that, he's got like Grammys, Oscars, Tonys, Emmys, and the string arranger did like 3 Prince albums. He toured with Whitney and Aretha and everything. And that day alone was one of the most transcendent days of my life, because literally within a 12-hour time period, I went from tragic, crazy, chaos, horror, and then walking into this studio with the live strings that they surprised me with.
Okay,
it was just
that's dope.
It was just crazy.
Do you prefer the live strings? Or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So my dad. My mom and dad were both musicians, and my dad's sister also, who I just lost, my aunt, who was like a mother to me.
R.I.P.
Thank you. And that was a lot. And I'm really, like, I had just recently broke my foot, and I recovered for that. I was telling T, and it was bad. I couldn't walk, but I feel like that made me stop, because I was able to spend that last time with her, because I was immobilized. And then when I got back to walking, we had our time together before I lost her. But my aunt actually went to Juilliard, discovered Stephanie Mills actually at Ralph's father's show at the Apollo. And she co-managed her, wrote for her, got her in the whiz, like took her to the writer and got her in the show.
That's incredible.
And toured with Shirley Verrett, the first known Black opera star.
Nice.
And my father, who was troubled, was a genius in music too. He wrote for Sarah Vaughan. His name's on the records.
Wow.
But he never got his royalties, which was a big thing that happened to Black songwriters back in that time. So that's like another reason why I'm just such a big advocate for artistry, and especially in the minority community. And my mama, to get back to the strings, sorry, I'm a Gemini.
That's okay.
My mama actually was a trained concert cellist, went to Manhattan School of Music, studied under a pupil of Pablo Casals, who was like the most renowned cellist before Yo-Yo Ma. And she also had a lot of stuff that she was going through, but she's still with us, and she's a genius. I have a real soft spot in my heart for strings. I play violin since I was 2, and I play piano too.
Oh, really? That's cool.
And I used to sit in the orchestra pit during rehearsals. Like, we didn't have money for babysitters, so I would sit there.
That is the best experience.
And it affected me deeply. So like live strings is just like the big thing for me. So to be able to have the live strings on my record, compliments of Robert L. Smith and Adi Ashaya, I can't wait to finally drop that piece. I've been waiting for the right moment, and that's coming soon. So I'm very excited for that.
I'm excited
in
for
addition
you too.
to
I'm excited for you.
You know, collabs from all over the place with different Billboard charting and award-winning producers, and that's a blessing.
You mentioned to me that you also, it's beyond the fact that you're going to be doing new songs or putting new songs out and having videos. You're going to be doing other things too, like
TV
film
and
television
stuff.
Right?
Yeah. So, and I grew up performing, so acting is a big part of my life as well. Okay. And I will be. So there's a reality TV show that has been in development for a while that I'm starring on. Mm-hmm. And I've learned so much from my director, and my producers are incredible. And our executive producer is a beast as well. So I'm very excited for that project. And I'm me. I play myself.
Okay.
That's
good. That's always good to play yourself.
Scripted, you know.
Can't mess that up.
You can't mess that up at all. No.
Yeah. And so the music is on that, and it follows my journey. And also a couple of major motion pictures under award-winning Black writer-director. And I will be singing in one of them, and then both have my music in them too. And
very nice.
Okay.
One's a lot of fun, and one's a thriller. So
I like that.
So I'm very excited for that.
I like that.
So if there was,
and I've gone very deep with my acting coach, just like getting ready for all that.
So what I wanted to ask you, if there was, if you could speak to the audience today, they're watching you. And there's an impressionable young lady out there who wants to follow in your footsteps. What would you tell her?
I try to make it quick.
Okay, no problem.
I would say that you gotta believe that you can make it based on what gifts the Creator put inside of you. Mm-hmm. And when you feel like giving up, it's just a time to reset and go inward and reconnect with that divine purpose that made you so passionate about what you do, and not to give in to the world and what the world tries to make us believe we're capable of or what's possible because of where we come from. Yeah.
Interesting.
And know your worth.
You gotta know your worth.
Yeah. Definitely know
that
your
was
worth.
the biggest one for me. I had to learn self-love, and that's why being able to even sing about love means so much to me personally, because I had to learn how to love myself, which I'm getting there. I'm not perfect with that yet. None of us are.
Because a lot of young women get involved in this business and they become manipulated, and
it's bad.
And literally get played by a lot of the people that are in this business. This business is not necessarily your friend a lot of times, So you have to be careful.
I hope we could change that.
Well, hopefully,
by your surroundings, by the people that you have in your camp, the people that have the best interest for you, because the scary part about being an artist, right, is that they want you to be beautiful. They want you to have a certain shape. But you have to be working with somebody that can be mature, be respectful, and hands off.
Yep.
In order for you to thrive, because not everybody can handle the beautiful, shapely
they want you to be
that they want to put out.
They want you to be the Barbie or whatever.
Yeah, but then you can't touch the Barbie.
And then they act that way.
You can't. I'm just saying you can't you can't touch the Barbie. You have to just like a product.
Right.
You can't abuse.
That's what an artist is, though.
It's a product, so you cannot abuse your product. You can't get high on your own supply.
Right.
Bars.
This is fact.
You can't get high on your own
supply. There you go. Can't get high on your supply right there. Those are bars for you. Thank you very much, Stax.
That
I
came
appreciate
from Biggie. Y'all borrowed it from you, but
I'm
saying never get high on your own supply.
That's the Brooklyn Blue right there.
That's
a Brooklyn Blue moment.
The
Brooklyn Blue moment.
Right.
Salud.
Don't get high.
Salud. Brooklyn Blue moment. But don't get high on your own supply.
Don't get high on your own supply.
So basically, keep your hands off of your product. You know what I mean? So because your product is what's making you money.
I'm not trying to drop no bombs on.
No. And I'm definitely not insinuating that. But I'm just saying that people need to be protected, and their camp needs to protect them so that less stories can come out about I went through this, I went through that. Where were your people?
Oh, and you hear the stories, but you hear the stories once most people are at the top and doing everything.
Right.
You don't hear the stories from
Nobody's going to listen to the stories when you're down there because it's not news. It's not news to them. That's
but you won't be able to continue if you start talking smack.
Right.
You know, but we need to create a healthier environment. And whenever I feel frustrated about anything or in pain about it all, and it's not just the men, okay, it's also women.
Right.
I'll be like, you know what? I'm strong enough to get there and then be able to help the next person.
Right.
That's one of my motivations.
Right.
Also.
Right.
So, because I love art, like that's what I love, and I live on it.
Well, let me tell you what my motivation is to help you in your career any way that we can.
Thank you.
Okay, and I really appreciate you being here, man. You're definitely wholesome. You're definitely official, and your words resonate with everybody. So trust me, you know what I mean. So it's all good.
No, I appreciate it. I'm very thankful for y'all, and
so tell everybody.
I love being here.
This is your camera right in front. Tell the world where they can find you and where they can get your music and everything. Okay.
Okay, I had my sip, so I warned y'all.
That wasn't even a slip. I don't even know what that was.
I'm straight edge.
She just got next to it.
Yeah, 2 sips and I'm done.
Brooklyn Blues is very powerful. It's very powerful. Yeah,
it's good stuff. I like fruity, so it's perfect. I'm Amanda Holley at Listen to Amanda on my socials, IG, Instagram, TikTok, Amanda Holley Music. Oh, and it's HOLLEY. But yeah, at Listen to Amanda everywhere else.
Okay.
And we'll be dropping one after another. So I'm very excited to share with y'all.
No question. Stay tuned. Thank you. Stay tuned for
and
Amanda.
I'm sending love and light your way.
Okay. All lights, camera, action. It's all right.
It's okay.
We all you have all inner
That's what
geeks
happens.
Anyway,
That's what happens when you've been through it all. You just don't care. Like, I'm a free spirit.
Okay.
Just be yourself.
Thank you, Rance. And with that being said, this is Wine and Spirit, and we're gonna leave you with this.
Yes.
Brooklyn Blue in the building, Amanda Holley in the building.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
My girl Stax Cadero, always Harlem, USA. Salute to you, man.
Turn up with the head.
This has been the T Money Podcast joint, and this episode was sponsored by Brooklyn Blue.
Yes.
And we out, man. Thanks, Amanda, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay,
You're welcome.
No doubt, man. Peace, 2 fingers, man. We'll see you later.
It's the T Money Podcast joint.